unfortunately, these gotta go. I tried to do the 79 in a double E, and what I'm realizing is 11 and a half in the 79, even in a double E, actually feels shorter than the 11 and a half D in the 20 last. It's just about this almond shape. So that pull in right there for the big toe, and it really kind of curves in here, that pushes my big toe. Meanwhile, with it being a double E, it's super wide in the ball. So much so that even with thick socks, like winter socks, beyond like boot socks, very thick, there's still a little bit of room. So I don't actually have a good like side to side hold in the forefoot. The heel and the kind of the quarters and heel is fine. Honestly, I remember they said that this last is wider in the heel. I can't really compare it to the 20 because my 20 last pair is a D and this is a double E, so it's not really apples to apples, but I don't think the heel feels abnormally large. It feels honestly more appropriate than like a E width Nicks H&W that I had and sold that was an 11E, had a super loose heel. So this heel didn't seem ridiculous for being a double E, but it's just the forefoot is just a mess. It's just not going to work. I've worn them 2 actual days. I think I wore them a partial another time, maybe. I can't recall. But like 2 full days of wear. There's like no wear on them, by the way. Like after 2 days, separate times. Like you don't. The stitching is like perfect, basically. There's no real heel mark at all. These things are still new. The tongue ended up getting a little more acceptable. I had to cut that part out I mentioned in the other video, but it's not too bad now. This is very stiff leather, this horse rump. It's actually a good learning experience because I'm not sure I'm keen on it and would buy it again, but I definitely get the vibe. These are very, it's like a hard leather, if that makes sense. It smells incredible. These smell really good, and they look gorgeous. I mean, this is a beautiful looking boot. I think it's a little ugly from the top down because it's double E, but the side profile, this is a great looking boot. I really love how the vamps, like because they had to be stretched and lasted over the last, it lightened them up. So the light color on the vamp and darker on the quarters and the heel looks incredible to me. I think people kind of agreed. I saw some comments the last time I posted these saying it's just a really good looking boot, or I think everyone was saying these looked better than the 20 last boots that I have in natural cypress. As far as the leather, I would agree. This is beautiful, but the shape I prefer the 20 last, and the fit I actually kind of like the 20 last. It's not perfect, but it's mediocre to good depending on my mood. It's significant. I mean, it's worlds different than this. I think to give the 79 last a fair shake, should have tried a 12D, but, I bought these because they had them ready to go. It was sort of like I guess I trusted that you can size them the same, which I think is what their site says, but that's what nobody in the community says. Everybody's basically saying you can't size the 79 the same as the 20. The most recent comment I heard, which was kind of wild with the 79 last, was from Aaron from Revival Shoe Repair. He has a really cool, he's a cobbler down in Los Angeles in California, and I think he says he went up a full size from branick, or at least a half size. I'm trying to remember what he said, but I don't know. I think for at least for me, the 20 last is true to size. The pair I have is 11 and a half D, and I no way could go shorter than that because my big toe does touch the side, but it doesn't hurt at the end of the day. It's just kind of touching, and the length is good. I think going to a 12 would have been felt them a little bit too long. It's not a perfect fit, but I guess like of the compromises, the 11 and a half D was probably best. This is 11 and a half double E, way too wide, I think, from what I'm kind of hearing. And it depends. Some people say the 79 is wider than the 20, but most people, including Truman, say the opposite. But I guess I bought into that too much and thought, well, if this, or bought in too much to the people saying the 79 is narrow. So I thought I got the same length as my 20, but go up a width. They only offered D and double E in the 79, and then I ended up with this crazy super wide toe. And it's not even the toe, it's a super wide ball. The toe, if you look, is pointy. It's very almondy, like dress shoe is shaped. So it's extremely wide, definitely double E here for sure, if more, maybe more, but then it just pulls in too much. And that's the biggest difference between the 20 last and the 79. The 79 just pulls in too much, and I think that's probably why, someone like him, Aaron again from Revival, he's a shoe cobbler, deals with tons of boots, built a boot. I mean, the guy has a lot of experience. I'll link his channel if you probably follow him if you watch boot videos, I'm sure. But in case you haven't, I'll put a link to his channel. But he has a lot of experience with boots, rebuilding, and actually he even built his own pair of boots. So, really got to trust him. And the fact that he had to size up, further makes me think maybe you get the 79 in your sneaker size, or kind of general shoe size, which you should not, at least for some people's feet like mine. You can't compare general size, normal, standard size, and branick. They're not the same thing. I sometimes will see, and it frustrates me because it's not accurate. They say get your standard size or your sneaker size, but then someone will say that's your branick. I don't know if anyone wears their sneaker in their branick size. I certainly can. Never. I've never been able to wear an 11.5 sneaker. So I'm 11.5 D, and I wear 12 sneakers. Maybe the one exception would be Converse, like the All Stars. You can kind of wear they're narrow, but I could kind of wear an 11.5. The Chuck 70, I think was the last time I bought a pair years ago, and those I got an 11.5, and I kind of wondered if I should have got a 12. They're definitely long enough, but they're really narrow. But it's a super soft, kind of crappy sneaker. But like Nike, Puma, I'm trying to, what are brands I used to buy. I don't buy sneakers anymore. Like they're all 12, and some of them feel too tight, or not too tight, but like tight, like questionable. Like you'd almost want to go up. Under Armour, my son likes those sneakers, and I was just at the outlet with him trying on some shoes because I was bored while he was checking out different pairs. And I actually tried on 4 different types of sneakers, buying them in 12, and none of them fit. They're all way too tight. So I would need apparently a 12.5 if they make that. And the brand, I don't think they had anything there. I think they just had 13s. But like sneaker size is not your branick size. It's not your standard size. Or I'm sorry, it's your standard size, not your branick size. So dress shoes, I've always had 11.5. And, I haven't put them on in a long time. I only wear boots now. But I don't remember them being too short. So dress shoes, you could typically, at least, Allen Edmonds and the like, you could get your branick. But sneakers run small. So maybe you get the 79 in your sneaker size, which is actually up from branick. And that was what I think Aaron had said. I think he said he went up a half. I think he said he was a 10D branick and got a 10.5 D in the 79 Truman. This last is just, it's not for me. The almond toe, it reminds me of the Grant Stone and some of these other companies, or Oak Street with their Elliston or whatever. All these super almondy toes, I end up needing a longer boot. The Elliston, I need a 12 because 11.5 pinched my toe too much. That's just not for me. Maybe if you have shorter toes, or I don't know. I don't have long toes, so I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, long ramble, but these unfortunately do have to go. It's kind of sad because this is a really nice looking boot. Look great, smell great, but the fit is completely wrong. And I really liked this Eugene Regrind sole. I think it just looks really cool. It's unique. I don't know, I guess it's like a recycled rubber look, but it kind of, bear with me on this. I think kind of at a quick glance, it almost has that corded look if you see like the Dr. Sole. It kind of just reminds me of that a little bit. I have that on one of my unsung boot, my unsung engineers, the U22 2. And the little white flecks and stuff kind of remind me of the corded soles. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of a cool vibe. So this is definitely a fun sole. I kind of wish they would do this regrind, whatever this recycled rubber thing is, with their, their heavy lug sole that they have now, where you can see the lugs. I have the gum colored Commando on my other Trumans, and those are really cool, but I don't ever see those anymore, so I don't know if they're just giving up on this whole gum thing and they're going to stick to the black compound, the black rubber. But I've seen the regrind in a black with the flecks, white flecks and tan flecks. So again, I'm not really sure. I'm still trying to figure out Truman. They're definitely kind of a different beast, but it's a cool brand. I'm not giving up on them. I just am giving up on the 79. You know, I was talking with a guy who actually commented on my video. I appreciate that. And he was offering up a used pair of 79s, but after talking with him and he gave me some useful information about the measurements inside of his 12D 79s, and I'm like, you know what, this is just, I think it's just going to be another compromise that's worse than the 20. And I don't really like this shape, honestly. I'm more of a sprung toe, bump toe, kind of that look. Maybe it all comes from I don't know, those mock toe 875 Red Wings I really wanted to work, and the size was hella screwed up and kind of sent me off on a whole tangent. But like, I want to get back to that mock toe, and I want the bump toe. So I think what I'm looking at with Truman is their 20 last mock toe builds. Got to keep an eye on those. Those probably better use of my time. So these are going to go on eBay, and hopefully somebody who has experience with this last in this size and they know they're 11.5 double E pick these up for a song. That's it today. Cheers.